how much you actually believe in yourself. Let's talk about it next on the Given a Purpose podcast. Welcome to the Given a Purpose podcast, where we bridge the highs, the lows, the lessons learned through life's journey and filling in the gap. You already know what it is, people. It's a new week, new fresh episode. I'm your host, as always, Mr. LA. Listen, I need you guys to always do me a favor, man. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure you tune in each week. Tell somebody about it. Share it. We dropping jewels over here. And we're just bridging the gap so we can understand life a little bit better. Now, today's episode is about believing in yourself again. Listen, man, it's a cycle. It's something that I've always struggled with through life, is just having that total belief in myself. A lot of the times, the belief of the things that I do have, it was probably tied to sports, and some things I had to do to build confidence. I had to learn how to do things scared. You know what I'm saying? But building the confidence so that every door that you walk in, every opportunity that you have, you're walking with confidence. But it starts here. It starts with believing that you can do it first. Now, let's be real. Life has a way of knocking us down. Okay? We've all failed with something that we've cared about. Maybe we've been overlooked. Maybe we've been rejected, or just doubted so many times you started doubting yourself. And we've all been through it. But here's the truth. Confidence isn't something you lose. It's something you can rebuild. Most of us don't lose confidence overnight. It slips away in moments. Maybe a bad relationship, a job loss, a dream that didn't happen when we thought it would. It slowly creeps away. And then you start thinking, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'll never get there. Maybe I should just settle. That right there. So many times I've had so many situations where I thought I should just settle, and not believing in myself and understand that I'm more than enough and that I can do more with the confidence that I had. But here's what happens, right? We have setbacks. Setbacks are not proof that you're unworthy. They're just evidence that you're still in the process. Think about it. Every successful person you admire has failed over and over again. They've been rejected. They've been doubted. If we just think about somebody, I would talk about one of my favorite basketball players, like Michael Jordan. He got cut in 10th grade. His first couple of years, they were getting destroyed. They weren't making it to the playoffs, or they were getting tossed out in the first round. And it was tough. And I know one thing that we see over his career, he used that into fuel to build his confidence to keep going. He knew how great he was, but it started with believing in himself. The difference is, is that the people that we look up to that are successful and things like that, is they choose to rebuild their confidence and keep going. You just got to keep going. So here's a couple of ways we can figure out how to get that confidence back. How do we confidence stack? I like that. How do we confidence stack? How do we restore the belief in ourselves when life has kind of shaken it and messed it up? All right. The first thing we got to do, right? First thing we always got to do, especially when we self-assess and we do things, we got to acknowledge the setback. Stop pretending it didn't hurt. We know it hurt. We know we were discouraged. We know that it didn't feel good. we know that we were upset it didn't go the way it was supposed to go. Confidence doesn't come from ignoring the pain. It comes from first processing it and saying it to yourself, yes, that was difficult. Yes, I fell short. But guess what? That loss doesn't define me. Remember your evidence. Confidence is built on proof. So, what I want you to do in your own time, if you can, write down 3 moments when you succeeded, when you pushed through, and when you surprised yourself. That is your evidence that you can do all difficult things. Create daily wins. That's how we confidence stack. Create daily wins. I don't care how small it is. All right, I set alarm. I got up on time. I made my breakfast. I left the house when I said I was. I got to work early. Just different things that it doesn't have to be these grand things. Stack small wins. All right, those small wins build consistency, and those actions will help you confidence stack on different things and will help you get to those different levels. All right, so it doesn't matter what it is, confidence stack. All right, you know how I tie it in. Here's the spiritual perspective. I believe confidence is not just self-made, it's God-given. All right, God helps you with your confidence. First, you got to ask for it. All right, but remember, you're not starting from zero. No matter how many times you've fallen, you can get back up one. But remember, you're starting with wisdom. You start from experience and from grace. So let's park there real quick. So remember, even when you fall, the failure or whatever the case may be, you can't look at it as a loss. You got to look at it as, what do I learn from that? And when you figure out what you learn from that, that's the wisdom. When you realize all of the things you did to get up to that point, even though you failed, that's the experience. And when you acknowledge everything, that's where God gives you grace to get back up, to do it again. And he gives you grace for your assignment. So when you're tired, you can get back up. When you're weary, you can keep going. When you don't feel like it, you can stay focused. All right? When you don't believe in yourself, borrow belief from the one who created you. Remind yourself, if I was given this dream, if I was had this seed planted in, I was also given the ability to fulfill it. All right? Affirm. Affirm, affirm, affirm. We got to start affirming. So today, I want you to speak this affirmation out loud, right where you are. Right where you are, don't move. Right where you are, I want to say, I believe in myself again. I am capable. I am worthy. I am ready for what's next. So let me repeat that. I believe in myself again. I am capable. I am worthy. I am ready for what's next. Say it until you believe it. Say it until it resonates with you. I want you to keep saying it until your subconscious mind understands that that's my new default. All right? That is my new default. When you get into your subconscious to that's my new default and things get difficult, things get rough, that's what you fall back into. Because the truth is, you've always had what it takes. You just needed courage to believe in yourself again. All right? That's all it takes. Remind yourself you are great. Start believing in yourself again. You can do this. It can be done. The crazy thing about it is you're going to realize when you sit back and you think about it, you've had the tools. And when you look back and think about the things that you may have failed in, or the things that you didn't think went your way, you'll realize I learned something from that. I did gain experience from that. I'm failing forward. I'm making the best of the situation. There are tools and jewels that I picked up along the way. Now, let me compile that. Let me put that together. Let me pray over it. Let me create a plan. Let me activate that plan. Let me pray over it and go forward. That's what life is about. It's about taking those lessons that you've learned, make a plan, and then execute on the highest level the next time. But it starts with believing in yourself. It starts with having that confidence. Believe in yourself. Have that confidence, and confidence stack, and you will get to the next level. So, you know what I need you to do. Hopefully that blessed somebody. Hopefully this helped you in a mighty way. So do the two most important things I always ask you guys to do every week, and that's live on purpose and live in purpose. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.